Hey y'all, K.Short here, and welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited that you're here right now because this is something that I have been wanting to talk about for a really long time. To be fully transparent with you, I'm filming this video a little spontaneously because I was not planning on filming a video, but I was like, you know what? I look cute. I was like, I already filmed an ad. I already met with my girls for my mastermind. Like, it's all good. I'm gonna meet some people today. I was like, let's film a video for all of you. And more importantly, it's because I was in the process of editing a video for my Connecting the Dots show. So if you haven't had a chance to check that out, make sure to go check that out. And this is episode 2 that I'm actually currently uploading. And so as I'm getting to know the guests and just kind of warming them up for the interview, there's conversation and just some banter in the beginning. And this guest specifically talked about imposter syndrome. And my first initial gut reaction was like, like, like those words are just like bleh, it's just like vomit. Like I don't want those words in my mouth, and they're not in my mouth. I don't know if I've ever used those words to describe myself, but this person is like, he's been doing what he does. He works with huge companies. Like he's been a photographer for 20 years. He's, you know what I mean, making a living, being an entrepreneur, all these things, and yet he still used the word imposter syndrome. And I was just like, who are you pretending to be? And so then that triggered me. And not triggered, sorry. I want us to acknowledge how important language is. So you're literally just caught me in the moment and be like, use a different word. Use a different word, because using that word activates that for other people, right? So when he said those words, it reminded me of this piece of paper that I put on my wall, that I received from my good friend Kevin Wright. I think he's a doctorate now. Yeah, I think he went all the way. We met in college, and yeah, we were just student leaders on campus, and had a lot of the same jobs, a lot, hanging around a lot of the same people, and yeah, so he sent this to me as he's continued to move on with graduate school and things of that sort, and it's talking about, instead of saying imposter syndrome, let's say imposter phenomenon. And it's actually our greatest advantage. So here's the paper right here that I have on my wall. He sent this to me probably because at the time I probably used the word or something like that. And so he's like, hey, I'm going to send you something. It's called an imposter phenomenon. And I was like, yeah, please send it to me. And to be honest, ever since he sent this to me, I haven't used the word in my vocabulary, and sure as heck, to not describe myself, because that's not the case. Like, I think we really need to think about that. Like, imposter syndrome. I feel like I should Google this. Let's Google this. Hey Siri, what's the definition of imposter syndrome? Hey Siri, read out the definition of imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome means the persistent inability to believe that one's success is deserved or has been legitimately achieved as a result of one's own efforts or skills.
Y'all, I got goosebumps off of this definition. Not good goosebumps. I'm just like, this is like what we're saying about ourselves right now. We're saying that we have the persistent inability. Persistent means like, right? Like you keep edging on that. You keep doing it. You keep poking the bear, right? Persistent inability. So the opposite of ability. The persistent inability. You're not able to believe that your success. Well, we also need to define what success means to us. But that one success is deserved or has been legitimately achieved. Okay, deserved. Okay, like that can kind of make me feel like maybe because I think sometimes people go into like privilege and things of that sort. But I mean, I'm working this in my mind. Like I'm actually having to think about it, right? Like this is literally like the importance of words. It's like, okay, what does persistent mean? What does inability mean? What does believe mean? What does one success mean, right? Is deserved. So I think the why I'm getting caught up on the word deserved, I'm just like, who's to say you're deserving or not? You know what I mean? Like, we got awards and things of that sort in the past, and regardless if you think people deserve them or not, you cannot deny the fact that they've put an effort into it. Like, I think about like the Tony Awards or like MTV Awards, personally my favorite. And whether you agree that person should have received album of the year or not, let's also like acknowledge the fact that they made an album. That's not easy to do. And to put yourself out there like that, and then to promote it, and then to go on a radio tour, and then all these things, right? So I'm just like, deserved, okay, or has been legitimately achieved. What defines as legitimate, right? As a result of one's own effort or skills. Like, y'all, you see how like this definition is so silly? Like, what are we talking about right now? The persistent inability to believe that one's success is deserved or has been legitimately achieved as a result of one's own efforts or skill. If you've put effort and skills into something, and if other people, whether they agree or disagree, say you deserve it or you have legitimately achieved it, like, that's not up to them to say that. You know what I mean? And like, again, we have these awards and things of that sort. And like, yeah, that's just like us being humans, okay? Like, we like, regardless if you want to believe it or not, we like to work. Whether it's for ourselves, for others, on our art, on our creativity, like, we like doing things. It's why we've lasted this long, you know? Anyways, let's get to the good stuff. I really just want us to hone in, like, definitions, right? Like, take the time to like go in and be like, what am I actually saying? And then also acknowledging the fact that like the English language is so limited. You know what I mean? Like, you ask anybody else who speaks a different language, like, they have words for things that we can't put into language in English. So let's get into this good part about this after I drink some coffee. Yes, I just want you to know that you are safe and deeply cared for. Okay. I drink out of this because I got it as a gift, but also it's a sweet reminder. All right. Good stuff here. Instead of imposter syndrome, imposter phenomenon. It's our greatest advantage. So instead of thinking that we're never good enough, instead, let's think of it that we're never done learning.
It's 12 hours.
And it's 12 o'clock right now. I do that because I put that on my computer because sometimes I could get so lost in my work, and it's a nice pattern interruption, right? All right, so never good enough equals never done learning. So instead of being like, oh, I'm not good enough, oh, I just still have so much to learn. Instead of a negative way of looking at imposter syndrome as I am less than, a positive way of looking at imposter syndrome is tomorrow I'll be better than I am today. Yeah, and I'm thinking about my yesterday and I'm thinking about my tomorrow. I was like, yeah, like, totally gonna be better than where I was, and maybe not, you know what I mean? But like, at the same time, I'm like, I get to try. I get to try again, right? So instead of never good enough, let's use never done learning. Oh, I doubt myself. I'm excited to prove myself wrong. Unharnessed self-doubt means I'm afraid to know the outcome. Harnessed self-doubt means I'm going to try until I know for sure. Ooh, I love that. So unharnessed self-doubt. What's the definition of unharnessed? I don't know. Let's ask Siri. Hey Siri, what's the definition of unharnessed?
Harness means remove a harness from a horse or other animal.
Oh, okay. What's the definition of harnessed?
As a noun, harness means a set of straps and fittings by which a horse or other draft animal is fastened to a cart, plow, etc., and is controlled by its driver. Do you want to hear the next one?
Well, the verb here says control and make use of. I think is what she's really trying to say. But it's also interesting to kind of think of the horse analogy too. That can think about that. I don't know. I could go deep into that, but it doesn't need to be. So yeah, just the unharnessed self-doubt means that you're not being in control of the self-doubt, right? I'm afraid to know the outcome. But the harnessed self-doubt means I'm going to try. I'm going to try until I know for sure. And this is such a good reminder for me because I'm in the process of becoming an entrepreneur. And so instead of being like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen, instead I'm like, I'm just going to keep trying until I know for sure. I really love that. Okay. Oh, I'm not qualified. Oh, my perspective is different. My perspective is different. So qualified candidates play competition games. Unqualified candidates play creation games. I love that. And you're probably like, oh, what's that voice you're doing it in? That's my pouty Susie voice. That's my pouty Susie voice when like my shadow self starts to come up and she's just being a pouty Susie. And I don't like her really, but you know, and I don't like being called that either, but when I hear I'm not qualified, it's like Shut up. Like that's literally like your BS, your belief system. And more importantly, your beep beep belief system, right? Like it's bull. It's bull. So how do we just call BS on that? I'm not qualified. BS. BS, BS, BS. BS. Instead, my perspective is different. My perspective is different. Let the qualified candidates play competition games while the unqualified candidates, we play creation games. We get to be creative and figure it out along the way. I have this highlighted in green for some reason. No one can fire you from the place you made for yourself in the world. Hmm. Hmm. That gave me good goosebumps. No one can fire you from the place you made for yourself in the world. Amen. Amen. I was just lucky. I engineered serendipity. People who succeed once are lucky. People who learn how to succeed multiple times are powerful manifestors. Yes, I love that. Everyone else knows more than me. I have the most to learn and the most to gain. People who have stopped growing surround themselves with people who know less than them. Mm. Mm. People who continue growing surround themselves with people who know more than them. Mm, 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 I love that. If you look at any of my old videos on my old channel, this one is the one that has like, that's what stuck with me since my college days is the people that we surround ourselves with. So, like, first and foremost, are you surrounding yourself with people who use language like imposter syndrome? Do you find yourself do you find yourself adopting that language? And second, and I say this because like I for me it's rare. It's rare because I love learning and I love growing. Those are two, and I'm very curious. Those are three of my big values. But it's rare when I'm in a room where I'm the one that knows the most in the room. Does that make sense? Like I oftentimes try to be the person that knows the least in the room, or at least towards the end of the tier. You know what I mean? And so, and it's not necessarily about like careers and skills and things of that sort. Like it's just like even spiritually, even emotionally, even professionally, even personally. Like I like to be with people that know more than me, because I want to learn from them and be around them. So think about that. Like, who are you in your group of friends? Are you the one that typically is steering the ship? Are you the one that's typically learning from them? Like, kind of figure out where you're at and with your group of friends. And um, yeah, if you're around people that know more than you, that's a good place to be in. So I'm gonna reread these one more time, without the added commentary. But again, think of say these to yourself in your pouty Susie voice. Okay, I say it to myself in my pouty Susie. I'm like, gosh, shut up, girl. And then like say the second version in a powerful voice, the powerful voice that you know who you are. So let's do this together, okay? I'm never good enough. Yeah, I know it sounds silly, but try it. Go ahead, say it. I'm never good enough. And then call BS. BS. Actually, I'm never done learning. I'm never done learning. Say that. Say it. Yes, you're never done learning. I doubt myself. I doubt myself. BS, 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 BS. I'm excited to prove myself wrong. Go ahead, say it. I'm excited to prove myself wrong. I'm so excited to prove myself wrong that I can't become an entrepreneur. I'm so excited to prove myself wrong because I am. I am going to prove myself wrong. I'm so excited for that. I'm not qualified. I'm not qualified. BS, BS, BS. My perspective is different. My perspective is different than anyone else in the room. How cool is that? Say it, say it. Your perspective is different. Yeah, I can't hear you. My perspective is different. Yes, yes, yes. Two more, two more. I was just lucky. I was just lucky. That was just a lucky shot. That was just lucky. Okay. Okay. BS. I engineered serendipity. Ooh, I love that word. It's one of my favorite words. I engineered serendipity. That means you put effort, you put work, you did planning, you showed up. You did it. You did it. You engineered that for yourself. Yes, you did. You weren't just lucky. You engineered it. Go ahead, say that. I engineered serendipity. Yes, you did. And last one. Me. Everyone else knows more than me. Me. BS. I have the most to gain. Go ahead, say it. I have the most to gain. One more time. I have the most to gain. Yes. All right, y'all. I hope that this puts you in a different state than me, Pouty Susie. I'm not good enough, and I doubt myself, and I'm not qualified, and I was just lucky, and everyone else knows more than me. No. No, we are never done learning. We are excited to prove ourselves wrong. Our perspectives are different. We engineered serendipity, and we have the most to gain. So the next time that you say you have imposter syndrome, please rewatch this video. Go down to the very end of this point of this, the last part we talked about, and write down those affirmations. I'll go ahead and put them in the description below so that you can copy and paste them and try to practice catching yourself. Try to practice catching yourself saying that you're not good enough, or that you're doubting yourself, or that you're not qualified, or you're lucky, or that people know more than you. Like, no, instead, when you hear yourself say that, when you hear that voice, I want you to know you have some people have a lot of voices in your head, but typically you have a roommate that's living in your head for free that says all of this silly stuff. So when you hear that roommate who's living in there for free, not paying rent, saying those silly things, let the real self you come out and call BS on that person. Be like, BS, Pouty Susie. Actually, I'm never done learning. BS, Pouty Susie. I'm excited to prove myself wrong. BS, Pouty Susie. My perspective is different. BS, Pouty Susie. I engineered serendipity. I put in the work for this. And BS, Pouty Susie. I have the most to gain. So I hope that this was helpful for you. Let's eliminate the word imposter syndrome from our language and stop talking about it, and especially about ourselves with that. Do not keep that in the same sentence. We're going to be using the word imposter phenomenon. You even just drop the imposter part. You are a phenomenon. You being here, watching this video is a phenomenon. The very fact that you're even born in the grand scheme of this thing called the universe, and the fact that you're watching this video is a phenomenon, y'all. Think about that. Think about that. And that's going to be my challenge for you today is one, to write down what I'm putting in the description below. You're going to write on a piece of paper and you're going to put it on your mirror, because you need to be reminded that you're never done learning, that you're excited to prove yourself wrong, that you have a different perspective, and that you engineered serendipity because you have the most to gain, and start rewiring our brains. And then the second thing you're going to do is you're going to write down how you are a phenomenon. We don't have to be here. And you sure as heck don't have to have a device where you can be watching me on the screen right now. So write down not only those silly little BS statements, you're going to write down also the counter great advantage that you have because of those. And then just take a moment and think, how is it a phenomenon that I'm here today, right now, watching K.Short's video? All right, y'all. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you so much that I had to record this video and I wasn't even planning on it, because I was just like, those words cannot be leaving your mouth anymore. Because if you're here on this video, eliminate it. Done. Decide. You're not using those words anymore. Cut it off and cut it out. All right. I love you. I appreciate you. I hope that this was helpful. And the next time you start feeling all kinds of ways in that, remember, it's actually your greatest advantage. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Bye now.